State versus James Lally, 17-290. Death by receiving.
Judge, you should have an application for Mr. Lally.
Do. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Pleads not guilty to the allegations in the complaint, Your Honor. We would ask that he be scheduled to reappear in Division 4. I don't think bond's an issue today. It's my understanding he has a parole hold.
All right. Sir, I'll have you appear on August 3rd at 8:30 before, what time does it start? 9:30. At 9:30 before Judge Webb. We'll enter a plea of not guilty. August 3rd, 9:30. State versus David Smith, 17-289, breaking or entering, theft of property. Sir, looking at your affidavit of indigency, you didn't fill it out. Are you working? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you working?
No, I'm not.
You're not? Not? Well, I'm going to temporarily appoint the Public Defender's Office. He can fill out the application.
That's fine, Your Honor. We spoke this morning.
Okay.
We'd enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Okay, we'll enter the plea of not guilty. Have him come back on August 10th for a target status.
Judge, I think it may not be an issue for today's purposes. I believe there's a parole hold, but he did want me to indicate to the court that if the parole hold is lifted, he would like to seek treatment. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Judge.
Okay, very well. Very well. That's all we can do today, sir. State versus Ryan Barnum, 17-288, theft by receiving.
Talk about bond in this one.
Here for an arraignment.
Judge, you should have an application there.
I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office for purpose of arraignment. He didn't fill out his application, so we have to do that at a later time.
Judge, at this point in time, we'd enter a plea of not guilty, and we'd like to be heard on bond.
Okay, I'll enter the plea of not guilty, having appear before Judge Webb on August, what did I say, the 3rd?
Yes.
August 3rd, 9:30 a.m. Go ahead.
Judge, I met with Mr. Farnham this morning. He indicates to me that he has no prior felony convictions, that he has lived in Mountain Home his entire life. All of his family lives here. He works for a local landscaper. Based on all of that information and based on his lack of a criminal history and the allegations in the complaint, the most serious being theft by receiving a Class D felony, we think a $1,500 bond is appropriate to assure his reappearance before this court in this particular matter.
Are you saying this man doesn't have a criminal history?
Misdemeanors. He has misdemeanors.
Judge, he's charged with a Class D felony. He's charged with attempting to sell a $2,000 ring that was stolen from some folks. His bond is set at $10,000. If that's too high, you can lower it.
Judge, the allegations in the complaint do say that that he was not the individual that stole the item of jewelry, and that the item of jewelry has since been returned to its rightful owner. If that makes a difference.
He's a thief, and he was a thief the moment he took that ring and tried to sell it back. As much as anybody that took it from anywhere, he attempted to sell it back. He didn't bring it back. Okay, if the bond's too high, give him a $5,000 bond. But this man's involvement in this is not incidental.
Bond be set at $3,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mylan Sweet, 17-287, residential burglary, theft of property. Sir, I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Does he appear for an arraignment? Yes.
He does, Your Honor. There's also a failure to appear in 17-128.
Okay.
We would enter a plea of not guilty. Mr. Cooper has been assigned to his cases. If it pleases the court, we'd ask that the new matter be transferred to Division 4 so that they can track. He also, I believe, has a revocation pending.
Very well.
As well.
Transfer 17287 to Division 4. Thank you, sir. You may stand aside. State versus Andrew Morris, 17175, robbery, battery, theft.
Judge, you should have an application there. Mr. Morris has been in jail. He's actually been in the custody of the Department of Corrections and has not until today applied for a public defender. We would enter our appearance if he qualifies. I'm sure he would today.
Okay, sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
And Judge, we'll leave that as scheduled for now. I'm assuming we'll need to file a motion to continue if it can't be worked out before the upcoming trial date, but we'll leave it as scheduled for now.
Very well. We'll leave the matter scheduled, and is there anything else we can do today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You may stand aside, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Davis, sir,
Yes.
I have another issue I have to discuss with you. Is there any way it can be brought to the court today to discuss it with you? I apologize.
I'm sorry, Andrew, I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Is there any way that I can be brought to court today to discuss another issue that I have with you?
I'm sure we can do that.
All right. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
State versus Barry Liner, 17171. Court had entered an order earlier allowing Mr. Burnett to withdraw. Where are we at on this matter?
Judge, he has filled out an application. You should have that. I don't know. You've already signed one. You've already approved our services. He has a pretrial on August 3rd, and the new matter and the old matter. I don't have do you know what the schedule order is in that one? We probably didn't get a copy of it in the old one since we weren't counsel then. In any event, I spoke with Mr. Liner this morning, and at this point in time, we'll leave the matter as scheduled. If we need to file a motion to continue based on our new involvement, we'll do that, Judge.
Very well. You may stand aside, sir. Thank you. State versus Brandy Barnes, 17155. It's a drug case, possession of firearms and drugs, driving no suspended. Also has 17114, 17103, 1727.
Judge, two of these matters are set for plea deadlines today. We are, as of this week, in receipt of plea offers in all of his cases. He comes before you, I think, again on August 10th for a plea deadline on the other two. If we could leave it scheduled, I believe only one of these is for trial in the upcoming trial period. We'll continue it, if that's okay, until the 10th date. We should be able to resolve all these then.
Very well. You may stand aside, sir. Amber Rice, are you Miss Rice?
Yes, she is, Judge. Judge, at this moment, there's no action to take today. Amber, I'm going to meet with Mr. Chisholm at the break, and I'll let you know what we decide, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
State versus Jason Chorba, is that correct?
That's correct.
17-98, breaking or entering theft. It's on a revocation.
You should have an application, Judge. It's not fully filled out, but I've represented Jason in the past, and I know he'll qualify.
Okay, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Enter a plea of not true, Judge.
It is not true entered. Can we have a hearing on August 3rd? August 3rd hearing on Mr. Chorba?
August 3rd.
Okay. Anything further?
This is in your division, Judge.
August 3rd, your next appearance, sir. 16-289, State versus Amy Henson, Grocio Henson. And this is a revocation. Earlier charges were burglary and theft. Am I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you?
Under a plea of not true, Judge.
Will enter a plea of not true. Okay, and I'll set the matter for a revocation hearing on August 10th.
Judge, Ms. Henson wanted me to ask the court if you would consider setting a bond for her in this matter.
Okay.
So I may get my affairs in order. I have a that I need to do.
Ma'am, could you lean down a little bit closer to the microphone? What did you say?
I'm sorry, sir. I have a, I would like to be able to pack up my needs and get my affairs in order, please.
She said she has a home here locally.
Oh.
She would like to get straightened up and get her affairs in order.
Let me look at the allegation.
Now, the allegations are new charges of possession of controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. That's on, they come out of, the rouse out of July 14th. I would note to the court that we have previously filed a petition to revoke her suspended sentence based on her failure to report, no longer living at her residence, avoiding all contact
I'm
with ACC.
still living in this residence. I'm sorry to
That
interrupt.
was done in May of last year. This is her second revocation.
I've been at the same residence now for 9 months. That's the address. I've been report weekly, sir. I've been willing to do random drug tests.
$300 cash bond and you report every, what day of the week would you want it? Every Monday at what time? You report to the probation every Monday at 9 o'clock for drug testing.
Yes, sir. $300 cash bond every Monday at 9 a.m.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor, very much.
State versus Walter Pittaway, 16-386, revocation, previously a drug case. And I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir.
Under a plea of not true, Judge.
Okay. We'll enter the plea of not true. And we'll set the hearing for August 10th. And anything else?
Judge, I don't know if this is a Division 4 case or not.
Actually, I signed it and sent it.
Okay. If that's the case, August 10th will be just fine.
Okay.
He did want me to ask if there was a bond that he could make. If the court would set a bond, I guess I should say.
Your Honor, the allegations on the petition to revoke suspended sentence are allegations that he failed to report, that he conducted a home visit, and he was no longer living at the residence given to probation. He has had no contact with ACC, and his whereabouts were unknown at the time of the petition.
Bond at 500 cash, you'll report to probation first thing Monday morning, should he make the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all we can do today, sir. State versus Alex Peterson. (97-278), 12-138, 95-210.
Your Honor, this was a case that I believe the court called last week when I was out of town. It has been assigned to me in the Public Defender's Office. I visited with Mr. Peterson yesterday at the jail. We had planned on bringing him over. I've now talked to Mr. Chisholm. Can you hear me, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I think the 60-day requirement was waived last week, but the plea offer, Mr. Peterson, I need to come over to the jail and see you and talk to you about that. Your Honor, I would ask that his trial be continued until the court is here again on defense motion. if the 60 days was not waived, I would so move to waive it at this time. Give me a chance to go over the evidence and meet with him further.
What is your,
Judge, I don't have any objection to that.
okay.
If it cleans it up for our presentation to you, I'm all for it now.
Okay. And I'm looking at 95-210, there's a petition for either revocation or a contempt in that. And in 97-278, there's a Rule 37 file. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Cooper? See when that was filed.
All I know is I wasn't his previous lawyer, since you've uttered those famous words, Judge.
We need to take a look at these cases. I'll leave it there, see what's that actually we heard. Okay, that's all we can do today, sir. Thank you. State v. Dennis Lawton, 17-285, possession of controlled substances, purpose to deliver, paraphernalia.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Who is your lawyer, sir?
Matt Dillinger.
Matt Dillinger.
Yes.
Okay. So he's entered.
There's a scheduling order out, Your Honor. I don't know if he was just supposed to appear today for attorney
Okay.
status.
Okay, Mr. Dillinger hasn't entered an appearance in the case.
No, but I put a retainer on him yesterday, and he'll be representing me though.
Okay, tell him to enter his appearance,
Okay.
because you have the thing scheduled here. Pre-trial on September 21st. See what, you paid him, you said?
Yes, I got the receipt.
Sir, Mr. Dillinger did contact our office.
Okay.
Regarding
Very well.
We never received paper.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Here you go.
Okay.
State versus Joshua Long, 17-283, burglary, theft, trespass, disorderly conduct.
It's my understanding Mr. Long has applied. I don't know if you have the application. I think you have the application, Judge, there.
I'm trying to hire Paul Bailey. I haven't been able to get all their office.
So I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you.
I believe the scheduling order has been issued, Your Honor.
Your next appearance is September 21st. State versus Dustin Brown, 17-189, delivery of controlled substance, possession of controlled substance, obstructing governmental operations.
Judge, Mr. Brown appears. There's no action to take in his case today. His plea deadline is in September. He's going to come in and meet with me, and we'll get a plea offer and go from there.
Okay, make an appointment to see your lawyers. 17-263, State versus Claude Rice, possession of controlled substances and paraphernalia. Also has 17-173, methamphetamine.
You can file a motion to suppress in 17-173. I believe that's for hearing on today's date.
Okay.
And then the new matter, there are no pretrial issues. It's relatively new. I think we're still getting discovery on that matter.
Okay, we'll get to it as soon as we can.
Thank you, guys.
17-161, State versus Kimberly Dix, controlled substances, paraphernalia, obstructing governmental operations.
Judge, we're here for a plea deadline in Ms. Dix's case, and I did receive a plea offer this week for her. If we could extend her plea deadline, I need to talk about this with her and go over it with her to an August date. Her trial is not until the end of August, so either one of your August dates will be fine, Judge.
Plea deadline extended to August 10th. 17-157, State versus Joshua Dunn. Possession of firearms by certain persons, drug paraphernalia, controlled substance, DWI, resisting arrest, other charges. Here's the plea deadline, yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, we're going to ask to extend the plea deadline. We have been working on this, but we're running into an impasse I need to get past. So we need some extra time to do that if we
Plea
may.
deadline extended to August 10th.
August 10th?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
State versus Tommy Hitt II, 17-223, residential burglary. Has also a 17-134, methamphetamine.
Judge, Mr. Hitt and I have good contact.
Okay.
There are no pretrial issues today. His trial is set for August 30th in the pretrial matter, and the other ones are scheduled out as well. We'll just leave it as scheduled.
Very well. Free to go, sir. Amanda Coker, 17-191, forgery.
Your Honor, I've spoken to the prosecutor. They provided me with discovery. I believe it is complete. We have no pretrial issues. The only thing I would let the court know is if I'm not familiar with how the court waives to a bench trial. If there's a written statement, I don't mind filling that out. If I just didn't want to have this set for on a jury trial day and cause you any conflict with the jury panel.
So you intend to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see if we want to have a non-jury trial on October 9th or another date. We'll check into that unit. They're gonna waive the jury. I can do it on the record. Sometimes the attorneys will draw up a waiver, but I still do it on the record.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you?
I'm his son.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
You look just like him.
At least my hair doesn't stick up like his.
Well, he's got hair though. I'll say that. Okay, you're free to go, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
State versus Dwayne Dean Jr., 16-429, burglary, theft.
Judge Dwayne is here. If we could give him a reappearance date before his trial date in October, I think we can get this resolved.
Let's see. Trial date's in October, you said?
October 9th is his trial date.
All right. How long you need?
Whatever pleases the court. I just need to speak with him.
August 24th.
That'd be fine, Judge.
Okay. State versus Elizabeth Howell, 15-379, theft, controlled substances, criminal mischief.
Judge, Ms. Howell's here. Obviously, there's no action to take in this matter today.
We'll leave it as scheduled. Free to go, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Russell Cleland, 17-193, possession of controlled substance, defaced firearm, drugs and firearms, other charges.
Yeah, this is on a pretrial date. There are no pretrial matters to be taken up in Mr. Cleland's case. We're not asking the schedule order to be changed at this time.
Remain scheduled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.